Hello, Mark Watson has asked me, hi sir, what do you do by building an argument? So this is obviously something that I comment on in How to Write an Essay on Crooks, which you can find here. Um, and so my reply was, start with the point of view, then add examples which prove it, and then finish with your best example to prove it. Mark Watson has written back and said, is this what you mean? Well, I don't know. I haven't read it yet. I've just copied and pasted it into words. Let's find out. Let's find out. Priestley uses the role of the inspector as an embodiment of his own views and uses the inspector to reflect his views. Well, this I really like. You've got a clear point of view and it started with Priestley's purpose. That's why he's created the inspector, in order to carry his, Priestley's, views. This is evident through the inspector's name, Mr. Gould. Some may interpret the name Gould to be a play on the word ghoul, and thus every time his name is said, it creates this sense that the inspector is almost spirit-like and supernatural. Now that's very well written, well done. I like the use of tentative language where you're saying it may mean that. This shows how you're exploring, and exploration of ideas is always something in the A and A-star marking criteria, whatever the exam board. The supernatural nature surrounding the inspector reminds Priestley's Christian audience of God. This would evoke feelings of fear to the audience, as it reminds the audience that God is omniscient and is always watching. Yes, that's a well-made point. I think you need to link that maybe to some events in the play. So, for example, how the inspector seems to know everything. He asks a question, but he already knows what the answer is going to be. This is used by Priestley to exemplify how he wants the upper class to change the way that they behave in society, where they stop exploiting the lower class in society for their own selfish capitalist gain, and should help others in society by adopting socialist views. That's another really brilliant idea. Having read it, really that should be it's a new idea, so it should be a new paragraph. What's missing here, though, that was in your previous paragraph, you've got the quotations there. Here you don't have a quotation or an incident from the play to attach to your brilliant interpretation. So the order of your argument is brilliant, but where it lacks evidence, it won't get the A and A star. So this should be is especially supported by how the inspector feels that if you don't, I think that should be we, if we don't learn that we are members of one body, and then I think it should be then we would be taught in fire, blood and anguish, or if not we, then certainly they. The word fire implies how important this lesson is. You haven't proofread this really. See how important this lesson is. And then you've got to somehow link to this idea, inability to learn it. So probably is, full stop, their inability to learn it suggests that this would lead to a lot of pain. That's vague. Of course, Priestley isn't talking about pain. He has in mind history. Remember, this is set in 1912. And the audience know exactly what happened in 1914 and exactly what happened in 1939. So this is, at the very least, a deliberate reference to the two world wars, and some readers also see it as a reference to the strikes of the 1920s and the industrial unrest that happened at the end of the 1920s and into the 30s when the Great Depression started. Anyway, my point there is you can't, that was too vague. Never be vague in an essay. This, alongside with the literal meaning of fire, conjures up images of hell. Good, and I can see you're going to link this to Priestley's ideas now. Priestley here is not only showing that capitalism could result in punishment, but by practicing socialism, we are more likely to end up in paradise and not in hell. Well done, that's a very well constructed part of the paragraph. So, You asked me if this is the way to build up an argument. Yes, it is. The sequence of your ideas does that. You begin by looking at Priestley's point of view, and you end by looking at Priestley's point of view, which is exactly right. The two areas for you to improve are every single paragraph needs a quotation in it, and be as specific as you can, never be general. So this section of your essay is on the borderline between A and A star. It's got A star features, but it's not consistent throughout. I hope that helps you. Good luck with your exam on Monday, and if you need any further videos, don't forget to subscribe.